Most churches really struggle to keep their guests coming back week after week. What we found is that it's not your ministries, your hospitality that's lacking. It's your guest follow-up. And today, I'm gonna share 3 big guest follow-up mistakes that your church can't afford to make. Hey, Tyler Smith here, co-founder and CEO of Texton Church. Our YouTube channel is full of church communications tips and strategies to help your church build meaningful relationships with members and guests by making them feel known, noticed, and loved. So be sure to hit the like button on this video and click the subscribe button below so that you don't miss a thing. One of the biggest mistakes that churches make when it comes to guest follow-up is inconsistency. Most of your first-time guests have a lifestyle of not attending church. So if your invitations or your instructions are sporadic or unintentional, they're gonna get drowned out by the noise of life. And those guests, well, they're gonna fall through the cracks. So consistent communication is absolutely key to showing a guest that they're important. Look, we know that you care, but they also need to know that you care. And you can show that with consistent follow-up. And mistake number 2 is irrelevant follow-up. Look, there are 2 ways your church can be irrelevant in terms of guest follow-up. You can be irrelevant in the content of your messages and in the method of your messages. Irrelevant content is sending your church e-newsletter filled with information that a first-time guest just simply doesn't care about. Look, they're still deciding whether your church is a good fit for their family. So you need to keep building the relationship and help them to take their next step. And keep it simple. Send invitations to services or upcoming events. Encourage them or ask them how you can pray for them. And irrelevant methods are ignoring people's communication preferences or often not offering any preferences at all. Look, don't just communicate exclusively via email because that's how you've always done it. Everyone prefers a different way, a different method of communication. So use a combination of emails, of text messages, of phone calls, of social media, of handwritten notes, everything in your arsenal so that you can stay relevant and approachable. And the 3rd big mistake is probably the most common one that we see. It's insufficient follow-up. And we totally get why. Keeping track of sending the right message to each guest at the right time, week after week, it can be a huge, time-intensive workload. However, insufficient follow-up is simply noise. One quick email newsletter blast is something new guests don't read because it feels automated. It feels generic and impersonal. And don't forget, many of your first-time guests have a pattern of not attending church. So 1 or 2 follow-up messages, it just won't cut it. They need to be reminded for at least 6 weeks after their first visit with encouragement and reminders in order to create a new habit of attending your church. Now, for more resources related to this tip or to learn more about how to overcome these 3 big guest follow-up mistakes, head to the description below and download your free Ultimate Guest Follow-Up Plan. Oh, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss any tips or strategies to finally dial in your church's guest follow-up.